All right, what's good? It's your boy Willie, aka Sweet Dick Willie. Welcome to the Ignorant Intellect. This is the inaugural episode. We're trying to get this shit lit, trying to get this shit going. I got my boy Gerry with me.
Yo.
What's poppin', my guy? How you living?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Happy to be alive.
You know, it's funny because y'all don't know this, but this is our second take. I don't know how many takes we're gonna do. We're gonna try to get it on this take. It might not happen, but we'll see what happens. So, I think a couple. We want to just get right into it. Let's talk, man. Where do we come from? Tell everybody how we met, all that shit.
Let me think. Exactly how? I don't remember exactly how, but my earliest memory of us meeting was I know how. Vince Menchaca. Shout out to Vince Menchaca.
My boy Vinny.
Shout out to
Jordan. Shout out to James.
Shout out to Eddie.
Shout
out to Eddie, dude. Eddie was a good guy. Shout out to Ernie as well, for sure.
Crazy.
Without a doubt. That's my best friend. Shout out to Ernie for sure. But Vince Menchaca, he used to live down the street from me in Manteca when I moved to Manteca from Oakland.
Right.
Like the middle of my 8th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much Vince had a sister named Jordan that was friends with Brianna, Willie's sister.
Shout out my baby sister.
Pretty much he was like, yo, I got a boy down the street, whatever that hoops too. You know, let's go fucking play. I'm like, all right, well, let's go. So, you know, we go down the street, walk, you know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't got cars back then.
Right.
And we pull up to Willie's house. I can never forget the cul-de-sac with the hoop in the front. And you know what I'm saying? We that was pretty much the beginning of our friendship in 2000.
We were in high school, so it was your freshman. No, or maybe it was your 8th grade year.
Yeah,
sorry.
2006. Yeah, 2006.
14 years, going on 15.
2006, man, that's crazy.
Man, that's crazy. Time be flying by, man. Yeah, nah, I remember fucking like Manteca High days going and fucking we used to be like Gerry was saying, we used to just be hooping and and I remember Gerry used to have the Lonzo jumper. Gerry didn't always used to have the athletic gifts that he has these days, but yeah, we formed our friendship on the court, you know, and I think that's something that won't ever be taken away from us. I think we'll stay this close, if not closer. I think we've only grown closer over the years, but I think we'll continue to grow. And yeah, man, it's so dope. You know, I talk with my girl all the time. It's just so dope how, like, over the years, we've, like, not just you and I, but, like, all the people we fuck with, Ron, E, Dom, everybody. Like, I'm not going to go down the list. There's too many people to name, but it's just, you feel me? It's crazy because we've stayed close all these years, and you got someone like her who, you know, she's bounced around. She was living, you know, in Canada. She was living in Bermuda. And, you know, you take it for granted having these long friendships.
Like,
you feel what I'm saying? Like,
sure,
we just think, like, this is what's supposed to happen. You're just supposed to have best friends all your life and do everything together. But it's like, as you know, I'm going to be moving soon, getting out of the Bay Area. So I'm going to be going my own route. We know other people have kind of done the same thing. So, yeah, no, I think it's definitely super dope, like I said, that we've maintained this relationship throughout the years, and if anything, have just built upon it. And now we're at the point where we're grown men, we're fathers, you know, we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, you feel me, like all the shits, and haven't even reached the age of 30, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy to, as we were talking before, going from that boys to men, you feel me, transition. But yeah, speaking of fatherhood, how's it been for you? Baby boys, how now?
Almost 11 months and like a week.
Okay.
8 days.
Okay.
So that shit's cool. Being a dad.
What major milestones he had yet so far?
Fucking standing up.
Okay.
Saying dada.
Mm-hmm.
Little shit like that's like the major ones.
Right.
Besides, lifting your head up, fucking, you know what I'm saying, crawling and all the shit.
Sure.
Yeah, pretty much standing up. That's the biggest thing. He's about to take his first steps in the next couple weeks.
Right.
So that shit's crazy, and just seeing a young nigga grow up, like,
yeah,
like I remember. I always say this, like, for me being the youngest in my family and not being around kids,
right,
like to having a son and not knowing what to expect and fucking, I was just talking to Lindsay about this, like not knowing what it's going to be like certain expectations, but it's just not that, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like just, you can't, it's unexplainable, you know what I'm saying? So it's like just watching your own kid, your own seed grow up, like it's an amazing feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit changed me, like for the better, for sure. It made me more, I had said this in one of my posts on Instagram, like, it taught me how to, how do I say, like, be more verbal and affectionate. You know what I'm saying? Because that was always my thing. I was never too, even in my relationships, like, what's the word?
Affectionate?
No, but like, well, yeah, affectionate, but like,
just telling you weren't affectionate.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't tell me I look beautiful. You don't tell me I look good, all this extra shit, or you don't tell me you love me, like,
right.
Because for me, it was kind of like, if I'm here, that should, you know,
that should be enough.
But it's like, for a baby,
they don't know any difference.
So you have to go over the top to show that. And you just like, you know what I'm saying? So that showed me a lot, as far as taught me a lot on how to do that.
Yeah.
And verbalizing my love, and you know what I'm saying, ultimately showing it. So
right. Yeah. So
yeah.
Sorry, don't mean to cut you off. No, I think that's the same with me too. Is like, you know, I've been around a lot of kids growing up. Just the fact that I had a younger sister, I had a nephew when I was 12 years old. Like, you know, always in the neighborhood, there's a lot of kids. So I've always been around, you know, people my age, a little younger and all that kind of stuff. So for me to go into fatherhood, it wasn't as big of a transition for you. You know, like you said, being that you were the baby of the family, you've always been the one that was, you know, treated like royalty, so to speak.
Yes.
Shout out to Kelly. Kelly probably had to take a burden on with old Gerry, but
she says it to this day, like, you guys spoiled him. It's like, bruh, wasn't my fault.
Yeah. That's how it was with me too, though. I mean, my mom to this day, she still spoils me. Yeah, shout out to all the people, you feel me, who still be getting spoiled by their parents. You feel me, 30 years old, getting spoiled.
That was me up until 11 months ago. Now my parents don't even. It's like I don't even matter no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, move out the way.
Right, we got a new one.
What's my baby doing? Right. Like, I'm doing all right. Thanks.
So that was the thing with me too, was because I remember being, like I said, 12 years old when my nephew came, and that was like when my mom got her first grandbaby. You feel me? So it was like, oh, move over, like everything, all the attention's on him. And for me being 12 years old, I'm like, yo, like, the fuck, I'm still the baby.
Yeah,
what you mean?
I'm here.
Right. So yeah, for me, it was difficult getting over that. But then, you know, it also, like I said, kind of taught me how to be more of an older brother, you know, to him. And that was dope. You feel me? Shout out to my nephew. That's my boy. But yeah, so I think, yeah, man, I love fatherhood personally. You know, my baby girl, she's going 2 years old in about a month. You feel me? And I think that's really it. Though like I said, it was less of a transition for me. It still was. It was still something dope. You feel me? It was still something that was a change of pace. Like I had to, you know, start to really take more responsibility, take a little bit more accountability for things, because
definitely,
you know, obviously, like you said, you got somebody who's looking to you for guidance now. Right? You're not. It's not no matter like, oh, yeah, I can just
what I just do.
Right, I do what I do.
It's like about me. It's my decision. It's like, nah, nigga, your decision might fuck some shit. Your decision, everything you do is very important. Everything. How you show up to work, everything. How you show up everywhere. It's like, nigga,
everything matters now.
Like, if it never mattered before, everything matter now, nigga. Yo. So you better get it the fuck straight if it's not already straight.
Right,
but I think for niggas like us, though, it was cool. Like, niggas not getting in trouble. Niggas not in and out of jail. Niggas ain't really, you know what I'm saying, in the streets like that heavy. Yeah. So it's
but that like, that's where I kind of hesitate because I'm like, yo, we was doing some shit where we could have.
Niggas could have got caught doing some shit.
You could have got caught doing some, and not to say we was doing some shit that was like over the top, like OD. You feel me? Like, yo, niggas is robbing banks, doing stupid shit, like, you feel me, crazy. But you feel me? I'm just saying, like, there definitely could have been times there where if we would have, you feel me, been in the wrong place, wrong time, it could have changed. It could have ended completely different.
Left, for sure.
Right on, yeah.
Shit could have went left easy.
Yeah, I always look at the decisions that we used to make, and kind of like you're saying, it's just like you don't realize in the moment how detrimental what you're doing, like how detrimental that can be on your future self, right? And I didn't realize that until a couple years ago. Quite honestly, once I got with Lynn's, was because, you feel me, she started to like have me stop fucking around out in the streets, you feel me, with the niggas and shit, and just more focusing on myself. And I started to realize all the things that I was doing, like how I would just, little things, bad habits, like staying up super late, you feel me, not going to bed at a reasonable hour so that you could wake up, get 8 hours of sleep, and then move on with your day, like not eating healthy, like little things like that are what, you know, changed me and like just the way that I approach, you know, everyday life. All right.
For sure. Yeah, I think that I think for me it was easy for me to like stay on track. I probably never said this out loud. That's actually hella funny. Like that I'm actually saying this on camera, but
there you go. Keep it real.
But nah, probably not even probably like 1000%. Like me being the youngest and like seeing my brother get into shit. Yeah. Like for a nigga like him, so let me think. Like we're 11 years apart, so it's like that's a big gap, right? So it's like I'm fucking 5, you're fucking 16. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking 7, you're fucking...
He's already out.
Yeah, so it's like, growing up, I seen a nigga, like, cutting class, getting in trouble, my parents yelling at him and shit like that. And it's kind of like, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at Kelly, like...
That's the thing, too.
Two different...
So you and Kelly are 6 years?
Me and Kelly are... 7 years.
7 years? Okay. So that's like how me and my sister are. So 7 years. But, so that means that she and Leon were 4 years. Okay. So how old were your parents when they had him?
Shit. My brother was born in 81. My mom was born in 60. 21.
Okay.
Is that what that is? Yeah, 21. Yep. My dad was born in 59. So it's like first baby at 21 and 22, it's like...
That's young.
Different America back then, though.
Different America, but still young. Like, still just, like, not experienced, I should say.
For sure. Yeah, you definitely. Feel me? Yeah, an aspect of not... Just imagine being...
You have your life together at 21.
No, exactly.
Most people don't. I mean, yeah, you're right 100% that it was a different era, but I still think it's, like, no matter what, you're still 21 years old.
Like, get married young or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like... That was just the thing back then.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it definitely was. But, and that's the thing too, is like, I think now that, like, for instance, you had Nas at what, you were 27? 27? I was 27, I think. Yeah, 27, we had C. Like, for me, dog, like, I was in a completely different mind frame at 27 than I was at 21. Like, for sure. Night and day, you feel me? Like, I didn't even save money. I didn't like focus on the next day. I was always like worried about what was going on right in front of me, and Yeah, no, it's just it's really important, I think, to have a kid, not necessarily when you're ready, because you're never ready, but it's like have a kid when when you've like prepared for it. You know what I'm saying?
I think you can have a kid when you're ready. I think that,
but when are you ever ready? You know what I mean?
I think that, for example, I think that say you have a partner, whatever, y'all been together for X amount of years, y'all done whatever y'all goal list is, travel, buy a house, you know what I'm saying, do certain things, you know what I'm saying, do a couple things, whatever, marry a couple things, whatever, right?
Right.
After that point, I think when people can say, like, you know what, I'm ready to bring a life into what we got going on, you know what I'm saying? I think that's when people can say, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Like, are you ready can you expect to what it's going to be like? Not necessarily, but I think, like, I'm ready for this stage of my life. I think people can say that.
Yeah.
Versus, you know,
yeah,
people like myself where it's like, oh shit, I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where it pops up on you.
Pops up on shit, it's about to get fucking real.
Like, I have to prepare. You
right.
feel me? I don't have the luxury of taking my time. It's like, nigga, it's here. You feel me? I got to go. No, I agree. I think, you know, one thing is, yeah, definitely there are certain aspects being in a you know, relationship with somebody who's like, you guys see eye to eye on things, you click well, right? That's I think a major aspect of it. But you know, sometimes that doesn't happen. You feel me? And if it doesn't, like you said, you kind of just gotta get on the shit. You know what I mean?
But I think that for me, it was like, I was like, I didn't want to be a father at the time, just based upon where I was at in my life. Like, I wanted to do shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like on the financial side, on the mindset side, on the like, can I lead a life into this world? It was like, yeah, I can do that. Sure. Versus, nigga, I haven't even went outside yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even, you know what I mean?
That's 21, 22, though.
Right, exactly.
You feel me? That's not have traveled and seen the world, seen different places, met a lot of people. Like, that's not what happens. So, and I think that's kind of different because it plays into your parenting style, right? Like, that's the bigger point I wanted to get to was like, when they were raising your brother, young mind, young, you know, just outlook on life. And then when they had you,
when you're 30,
like, you know what the world is. You feel me? You know what to expect from it. We didn't know what to expect at 21, 22. So it's like, I could completely understand how that 4 or 5 year change. Think about when you went into high school from the time you came out, how much of a different person you were. Yeah, you feel me? So that does 4 years is like a huge amount of time for people to like completely change up, you know, the situation that they're in. But yeah, man, I love it. I love being a father. It's amazing. I don't think I would ever change it. I know for sure I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
I wouldn't. I think, see, for a nigga like me, just my situation, I just wasn't trying to fuck with it at first.
Because you don't want to give up your freedom.
Like,
you don't want to give up that, like, nigga. I could wake up at 11 o'clock.
That, like, that shit was crazy how that shit just flipped immediately. Like, how it went from, like, but I actually went in stages, though. I was like, the first 3 months of me knowing that, you know, I was about to be a dad or whatever, I was like, I'm not trying to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever. And I only say this for people that watch this podcast, right? I only say this, the only reason I say that, which is based on my situation, I had got another girl pregnant while I was in a relationship. So that's why I'm like, I'm not trying to do that shit, just based upon, I wasn't trying to be a father, one, first and foremost.
Wasn't trying to be a father, but wasn't trying to be a father to a bastard either.
I wasn't trying to be a dad.
I'm a bastard. My daughter's a bastard, but it's good.
I didn't want to ultimately lose my relationship.
It's a big thing. Learned a lesson there, huh?
Yeah,
tough lesson.
And it was just, I just wasn't trying to do that in my life.
Yeah.
But so that's why I was like, yo, I'm not trying to fuck with this shit. Right. So the first 3 months, I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to fuck with it. Like, nah, I don't want to. The second 3 months, I was like, I made my bed, I'm gonna lay in it type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was never going to turn my back on the situation. It was just like, a nigga wasn't trying to do that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then the last 3 months, it was kind of like, okay, bet, like, gearing up for it. Like, okay, like, let me see what's good. Like, And then when he was born, it was like, move over, actually.
Right.
Move over. I'm actually going to be the nigga that does this. I'm the catalyst. I'm driving the boat.
That, like, I don't want to say ownership because that implies, like, a different feeling than what I'm trying to say. But it's like you have this, like, there's this pride within you to be like, yo, I got to be the best dad that there ever was.
Right.
Like, nigga, that competitiveness. You feel me? That's what I really think it is. It's like when you become a parent, you want to be the best parent. You feel me? You want to make sure that you create the best child ever.
Right.
That goes out and, like, does all the greatest shit. You want to create, you feel me, the Kobe Bryant. You want to be Joe Bryant. You feel me? Shit like that. And I think until you have a kid, right? And you are a competitive person, you'll never know what that feeling is like.
Yeah, for sure.
We got so many people in our group, in our friend group that are super competitive that don't have kids. And when you talk to them about kids, they're like, "Oh, I'm not ready. It's like, yo, you don't realize how much that changes the way that you approach every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just
shit gotta get right.
I started the podcast because I'm like, yo, like, yeah, I want to be the best dad that I could be and be there for my daughter. But it's like, I also want to, you feel me, try to grow something of my own. I want to start my own shit. Like, we started investing, like, all the things we, started saving money, buying houses, like, all the shit. It all plays plays a factor in it. And I think it's not something that you really, like I said, it's not something you feel till you get there to that point. But yeah, man. So I wanna move past fatherhood. Fuck fatherhood. That shit was just to get the moms in here. Now let's get to the good
What's
shit.
What's up, single moms? Nah, that's all funny.
No, yeah. Okay. So what we got here? So let's talk about all right, so we talked about fatherhood, and I kind of mentioned accountability and how it kind of brings that about. But I want to talk about accountability in a different way. And I want to talk about accountability in Black America, right? It's a very controversial topic. Obviously, you're a Black man. Some people don't realize I am a Black man. I'm a partly Black man. I'm a biracial man. I'll probably say I'm more not Black than I am Black, but I'm Black.
It's in you.
I can say nigga. I can say nigga with no repercussions.
That's
nigga, that's how Black I am. So, but yeah. So anyways, I just want to, like I said, I want to get into some shit because, like I said, we got a lot of people in our friend group. You feel me? I like to debate, and people think that shit that I say, I'm going against my people. You feel me?
Some people might say that you're radical.
Some people might say. However, I think the way that I like to look at it is you feel me? I try to educate myself. I try to look at things from all sides, right? Which is kind of ironic, the fact that I'm biracial, you feel me? So I'm Black and white. I try to see it from the white side. I try to see it from the Black side just because that's what's in me. It ain't on me, it's in me.
Lord.
Yeah. So with that being said, what do you think, you feel me, about the current state of our society? Do you think racism is as big as people make it out to be? Do you think that Black people or people of color are due something from white people? What are your thoughts?
Racism is, I think racism is pretty big still. I don't think it. I don't think that it's dead. I don't think that it went anywhere. I think that it's. I think it's here, and I think that it's more in people's faces due to social media. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it was always around, and I think that now that it's being, with Instagram and the whole shit, Facebook, blogs, the whole shit, you know what I'm saying? News media, you can see everything on your phone now, everything. Right. So it's like everything's being publicized, and it's like it's showing injustice against people of color, you know what I'm saying? Black people, African Americans, from white folks, you know what I mean? And It's like, is it as big as ever? Or is it a big deal? Yeah.
So I want to interject. What makes you say because of white folks? Like, why is racism, or sorry, not why is racism, why is anything that, could be constituted as a problem in black people's lives that's attributed to racism and white people in particular? Like, why is that?
Because I think the racism comes from, there's some people that are prejudiced and there's some people that are racist.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And just me being a black man, it's like, I see the shit every day. And I think that
you see it every day. You see racism every day, or prejudice.
I see just being the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm 6'4", you know what I'm saying? Workout, dark skin. You know what I mean?
You a big black man.
Big black dude.
You a big black man.
So that's it's like, I go anywhere and like, and I won't say 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can't say 100% of the time, but it's like, I'll be walking and I'll see the white girl or the young lady or whatever, right? And I'll see them go to the other side of the street, or, you know what I'm saying, grip their man a little bit tighter. Or I'll go, you know what I'm saying, before COVID, you know what I mean, whatever the case is, go into the store, they watching the nigga a little bit harder than anybody else, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it can't be, if you know, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, oh, they're targeting me. It's like, and I'm not the type of nigga, you know what I'm saying, that's going to make a big deal of it. But It's like, I see it, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, just little shit like that. Yeah. Versus if I probably happened to be in a smaller Asian man, just like everybody else in the store, or a white guy with a suit, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing.
Sure.
Go freely.
Sure.
Little shit like that.
Sure.
But with police brutality specifically, it's a lot of clips. It's a lot of clips.
You can like bend it like this and shit.
Oh shit, yeah, bet. It's a lot of clips. It's a lot of things that's going on. Whereas white cops doing, it's things that's happening to black people in the justice system, and with police brutality. Police interactions with black folks that are not happening on the same scale or in the same manner.
Okay. As it is with black people.
With white folks.
Oh, with white folks. Sorry. So let's do this. So systemic racism. Do you think it's a thing?
Yeah.
You think systemic racism in what aspects of our system is there racism?
The amount of black people incarcerated, the percentages of black to white in jail, as far as the percentages.
So systemic racism in regards to like our, like you said, our prison system, our justice system,
redlining in the neighborhoods.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying, things like that.
Sure.
Not being able to apply for certain loans, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people being on Social Security or whatever. And I know a lot of that is due to certain people's circumstances, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's like, not all black people are just down and out and whatever the fuck, but it's like,
right.
I think for the population for a majority,
the
majority of the minority
right.
has been oppressed by the man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, do you think that, like, for instance, systemic racism, if systemic racism exists, then one could assume that being a black person, you've been racially oppressed, right? So, in what ways do you think that you've been oppressed, personally?
Personally, me, been oppressed?
If at all.
I feel like, I think we talked about this before, like, the job situation where it was like I happened to work this job where I was at the front desk, and it was a bubbly, not young, bubbly Asian lady. You know what I'm saying? Middle-aged lady that was working there. If you guys know me, you know what I'm saying? Yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm charismatic. What's going on? It's lit. Here we are. What's going on? I'm at the front desk, and I happened to get removed from the site because I wasn't the right fit, and I just happened to get replaced.
Sure.
With another Asian lady, younger.
Okay.
And I wonder why wasn't I the right fit? I'm doing everything. I'm showing up on time. I'm doing everything. You know what I mean? I'm very capable of the job.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Why was I removed? And it happened to be this lady. I don't believe she's doing a better job than me. We probably at the minimum.
Bitch ain't doing better than me.
Right, like you know what I mean. We're probably doing it at the minimum. We're doing the job the same. How is she a better fit than I?
Mm-hmm.
It happened to be the demographic in the building: white folks, Indian folks, Chinese or Asian folks. You know what I'm saying? Middle Eastern, Caucasians.
Not a fit. Big 6'4", black dude, big dick, not a fit.
I wasn't a good fit.
We need small dicks.
That was the reason why.
Penises.
No actual specific reason like, oh, your job performance wasn't up to par. You kept showing up late, this and that. It just wasn't the right fit. What wasn't the right fit? Let me know.
Okay. Listen, I don't know, right? I wasn't there. I don't have any for that situation. I can't speak to it. I can't point to something and be like, oh, this is, you feel me, perhaps a reason why that happened. Maybe it did happen for exactly the reason why you're describing it. My thing, so the way that I look at it is like, in order for there to be like systemic racism, right? Everybody would need to be affected by it, right? If it's systemic, if it means that like, yo, there's a system in place to quite literally oppress certain people, then there's no way that like there'd be black billionaires, right? Michael Jordan wouldn't exist. I forget the other dude. He's like, I forget the guy's name. He's the richest black dude. But he's worth more than Michael Jordan. He's being investigated for some shit. I don't know what it is, but regardless, whatever it is, they trying to hold it. They trying to hold us down. They trying to hold a nigga down. No, I think you know, if it was really a system thing, there wouldn't be people that were proving that it's not, right? Like Barack Obama was the president, like. And these are just, I'm not even getting into anything just yet. I'm just saying, like, I don't feel that those things would be possible if there was systemic racism to say, like, yo, if you're black, you can't function in this society, right? Like, I think you're afforded every legal right that the next white man is afforded, right?
On paper.
But I mean, on paper or not, it's still in writing, right? Like legally, you're afforded all the same rights. And I don't think that people have the right idea of what's going on in the world to say that, like, you know, this is why this is happening or this is why that's happening. Like a lot of it is we use anecdotal information or anecdotal evidence to provide a widespread view or kind of like a widespread explanation for what's going on when it could be a lot more complex than what people make it to be. So I really just said a whole lot of nothing there. There was absolutely no substance, but to kind of provide an example, like, so I've had, just reading in, right, or reading or researching whatever, shit that's going on, like within fucking police brutality, right? There's easy things there, right? Like the number of people that are dying every year at the hands of cops are significantly low, right? It's like 1,000 people, something like that on average. Not a lot of people are dying. I think we also look at like, if it was systemic, then why is there more like black on black violence than there is police on black or white on black? You get what I'm saying? Like, why are we harming ourselves and then saying, hey, white man, you're holding us down? It's like, yo, we can't even get our shit together for us to go out and then place blame on someone else.
Definitely black people are punching themselves in the face for sure in some forms. Definitely without a doubt.
Right.
But I don't think that changes the fact that there are still things in place that don't allow there are some things that just don't allow certain people to succeed.
But I don't think that that has necessarily to do with race, though. I think that has to do with, external factors. For instance, like there was nothing that I could have done to be born in California or to have been born in a third world country. There's nothing that I personally could have done, right? I couldn't have affected that. That was just how it was. I was lucky in that regard, as were a lot of other people. And those same people are, comparing their situations. They're saying like, yo, black people are being enslaved, black people are being oppressed, all this, that, and the third. But it's like all that the only oppression that's happening is within our own community, because we keep telling ourselves that we're being oppressed. We keep telling each other like, yo, my brothers, my sisters, the white man's keeping you down. You got to fight the system, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yo, how is it that, first generation immigrants can come over with no money in their pockets as refugees, right? First generation, by the next generation, they've got businesses established. They've got like all this shit going on. Why is it that can happen, but people who have been here for generation on generation are not able to do it? And not only like people coming from like, let's say like the Middle East, I'm talking about people that are coming from like, like Africa, right? People that are coming from like Jamaica, like those types of black people, right?
Right.
Why do you think that is?
I think that, immigrants, they have a different mindset than, people growing up here, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, like, my parents are, when is segregation in? 1960.
When did this shit end? We don't know. Like, it's 2020. This shit ain't never ended.
Like 50, I don't know, 60s, somewhere around there, right? So my parents are like just removed from that era, right? Sure. So that means my grandparents, what do you think my grandparents are telling my parents in the sense of, don't trust the white folks.
Sure.
We can't go over there. They hanging folks or whatever. Sure. Like my grandmother was born in 1920 something.
Right.
My nigga. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like literally growing up in black, white only. Yeah. So I think it's passed down from, generation to generation. Because even like my parents is like, those fucking crackers. No, don't trust them honkies, all this and that. You know how white folks is. Right. XYZ, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my parents are saying that. Yeah.
It's definitely something that's passed down, I think. Like
versus
you're saying.
Them.
Sure.
Whereas maybe those immigrants don't have that
animosity
fed into them
right
in the same way that folks over here did.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who's to say that my grandma's grandfather, so what, my great-grandfather, wasn't no slave?
Right.
Who said, you know what I mean? Versus over here, maybe that wasn't going on.
Right.
So different mindset, different approach to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
That's just one factor.
Right.
Versus, out of the many variables that it could be.
Yeah. I think yeah, you raise a good point, and then that is that there's it's almost like it's in your blood to not fuck with the other side
to an extent.
Yeah, and it's the craziest thing because I think a lot of it, right, is like we hold this animosity towards white people. Why? Like why do black people not fuck with white people? What was the stem? What was the root cause?
I think that most people will say based on being slaves.
Slavery.
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? Slave owners and slaves.
There you go. So like racism, slavery came before racism, right?
Right.
So I look at it from the standpoint of like black people enslaved black people, white people enslaved white people before white people enslaved black people.
Right.
So how can we be mad? Excuse me. How can we be mad at the white man when slavery existed when there was no racism?
I think that because that's 100% true about the slavery thing. Black people own black people in Africa, different tribes, enslaving other tribes, whatever the case is. But I think that it started not only there, white folks enslaving black folks, but it was like, okay, when slavery was abolished, the 3/5 of a man, whatever, right?
Sure.
Okay, if slavery is abolished,
right,
in whatever year that is, right? I'm not a history fucking major, whatever the fuck.
Right.
But it's like, okay, it's abolished. There's no more shit going on. But we're actually gonna, you guys know what I'm talking about in history class. We're actually gonna like hold this thing over your head, even though you gotta have to work for like fucking 10 cents. You know what I mean? Or some shit like that. Or like I said, a 3/5 of a man. So it's like the treatment after slavery was abolished formed a resentment from white to black, because in America, I'm pretty sure, was there any black on black slaves in America?
I mean, there were like, so not black on black, but there were like Native Americans enslaved other Native American tribes, shit like that, but not necessarily black people.
Right.
Right.
So plantations and all that shit. So it's like, okay, whippings and whatever the hell. It's like, that stays with people. That gets passed down, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, for my grandmother, I'm sure she was hearing stories of whatever the fuck happened 20 years ago, 25 years ago. You know what I mean?
Bring the microphone.
So, oh shit.
There you go.
So, but back to bring that point back around, you know what I'm saying? So it's like being treated after slavery was abolished, 3/5 of a man, you're having things hanging over our head, you work for fucking 10 cents, you're still getting treated bad.
Right.
I think that's where, if the racism wasn't before, that's there at that moment.
Sure.
So from those people, whatever year that is, 18, whatever, right? So here we go, right? If slavery was abolished, just say 1850. My fucking great-great-grandfather had fucking kids that had my fucking grandmother in 1920. You don't think that that's relevant? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, not only just in my family personally, but it's like the generation of black folks that was born in that era, from whatever, abolished slavery till fucking the Great Depression.
Sure. So, okay, but now, do you think that like because how do I want to say this? Like with racism, I think it still affects us, right? We still let it affect us. And we do things like say like, oh, I'm black, therefore, I'm getting passed over for jobs and stuff like that, right? Whereas like, I don't know, man. There's so many things in my head where I look at it from, we are not, so, sorry, take a little break. I'll end up editing this out or whatever. But like, let me see. Hold on, let me take a quick swig. like slavery was something that was passed down from like other cultures, other shits, and I think with racism we think that everything is gonna be solved if what, like if there's no more police or if there's less police, or we think everything's gonna be solved if there's like reparations or shit like that. And it's like that's not gonna solve your problems, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, it was like we have the same rights. So like your ancestors may have come from black people who were enslaved, whereas my ancestors may have come from black people, I don't know this, I'm just saying, like may have come from black people who were not enslaved, because before there was the abolition of slavery, there were already free slaves, right? Free slaves already existed before they said no more slaves, or not free slaves, shouldn't say that. Free black people. Free slaves don't make sense.
Yeah.
There were free black people. They weren't enslaved. And so it's like who allowed those black people to not be enslaved?
Yeah.
White people. White people allowed them to not be enslaved, right? Those same white people that we're saying are the ones that enslaved them. So it's like there's different white people. There's different black people.
For sure.
You know Definitely. What I mean? And
not,
it's like
not every white person's racist. Not every white person's ancestors were slave owners.
Exactly.
For sure.
But when we say like, yo, white people this, or like it's systemic or it holds us down, like this racism shit, it's like, yo, the only racism is within our head, right? Like, do you think black people are capable of being racist?
What's the definition of racism?
So racism is to like definition. Not verbatim, but like loosely, it's that one race, or like the belief that one's race is superior or inferior to another. The belief that one race is superior or inferior to another race.
So do I think black people could? Some black people, I guess you could say that. Some. Yeah, you can say that.
Okay. So I think, like, do you think that you're racist?
I don't think that I'm racist.
You don't think you're racist? Do you make prejudices, or like are like do you prejudge people based on their skin?
Not necessarily their skin. No. How to carry themselves, yes.
Okay, so for you to say before, like the whole like thing with the Asian people, right? Like you getting like removed or whatever. Like you thought that was because they were being racist, but then you're like, guess who came in? Another Asian person. I'm better than that Asian person. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden they brought in an Asian person. You know what I mean? If they would have brought in another black guy, would you have been, oh, okay, it's cool. At least they replaced me for one of my own. Like, when would it have been okay for them to have replaced you? What would have made it all right without it being a racist motive?
What would have made it all right?
Yeah.
Nothing would have made it all right. But the fact that you don't give me a politically correct answer on why I was removed wasn't the right fit, and then you replace me with...
But is California an at-will state? Can somebody remove you from your role at will?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be racist.
Doesn't
have to be. So that's what I'm saying. It's like we have nothing to point or prove that it is. So to assume and carry that weight with you that it is racist, rather than looking at it as like, yo, I could have done better. Maybe I just fucked up. Maybe it was something I did. I'm saying it's a bigger thing than what we when we're moving around. Hold on one second. Oh shit. Hold on one second. I was gonna create a nasty ass noise in that whole podcast. Yeah. So, anyways, I think like it's just it affects the way that we're able to go out and do things in the world, like the way that we're allowed to approach the world, because now we feel like we have to go in with this view that, um, you know, everything is out and everything's against us. You about to spark that up? We're back. Sorry, a little technical difficulties. Um, yeah. So, I think to kind of wrap up with the racism thing, like I think it's just it's something that we kind of have to move past if we want to prosper. You know what I mean?
But like,
it's like, what good does it do thinking that racism exists?
But okay, so what do you think about like,
or exists in the form that we think that it does?
So you remember the kid, Dylan Roof, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kid
yeah.
that shot up the church.
Sure.
Or set it on fire, whatever. Fuck, shot it up. You know, walked out like, you know, whatever. Everything's all good. Got taken to Burger King after. McDonald's, whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Versus George Floyd, Eric Garner,
right.
Like an Oscar Grant, like, you know, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
How does a nigga like George Zimmerman not go to jail for that?
Yeah, I think too though with that is like those are different cops, different circumstances, different all the shit. Like,
but do you not think that?
I think it's fucked up.
The system is. How does a nigga like that? How does those police officers get? What is it? Paid with leave or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the time,
mm-hmm.
Right? Sometimes, like, you know, every now and then it is a nigga that gets charged. But how does not every nigga get charged? How? How do you not? How can you explain choking a nigga out?
You don't have the mic in front of your face.
How do you explain? How do you explain choking a nigga out? Oh shit! Bet. Oh shit. How do you explain choking a nigga out for selling? What was it? Cigarettes on the block? How do you explain choking a nigga out to the judge or the jury? Oh, it was okay for that.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you say, yeah, it's cool to sit on a nigga neck for fucking 8 minutes?
Look,
how is it cool to say we can shoot this nigga in the back when he runs and you're not supposed to do that?
So here's the thing. I'm not justifying any of the shit because I don't know all the facts behind all the shit. So I can't sit here and speak to those. However, the one thing that I can speak to is the fact that I've realized or I've noticed in my own experience that when I do things that bring on those, you know, they bring on the bad shit. Right? So like I'm fucking driving in my car smoking weed, right? Like if I'm doing that when I used to drive around smoking weed, like the cop pulls me over, he automatically has something against me, right? It's like I'm already doing something wrong. Or if I'm speeding or if I'm, you feel me, whatever it is, like whatever you're doing wrong, you're already doing something wrong. So it's just like I get it in that we want to try to look at things from such a like a black and white standpoint, not of like skin color, but black and white, like right or wrong. But it's like it's so granular. You have to get granular with it. You have to get so in depth. It's way more complicated than that. And I think the one variable that seems to be constant in most, not all, but most situations is the fact that those people were doing something wrong that had the cops there in the first place. So if people just don't do things wrong, typically you don't find yourself in a situation where you have to interact with the cops. So that's why it comes back to what I was talking about with accountability is like at a certain point, these people have to take accountability for their actions. If they were putting themselves in a situation where it warranted a cop stopping them or even just interacting with them, they could have done something to change that. And there's always this thing, oh, well, you feel me? Like, not everybody has the same opportunities as you, Willie. You know, not everybody has the ability to have a white mom who will help them and yada yada yada. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Cause nigga, there was a point in time when I was living out of my car. You feel me? And so it's like, how did that happen? Because I was making dumb decisions. You see what I'm saying? I was making stupid decisions. It had nothing to do with my mom. It didn't have nothing to do with any of my friends. It didn't have nothing to do with nobody except for me. And so I think when I started to take account, started to hold myself accountable, like I said, I started to put myself in better situations. I started seeing positive shit happen. And to just say that an outside factor is the reason why I'm in the situation that I'm in, rather positive or negative, would be, you know, completely immature, irresponsible, and naive of me to do. You feel me? Like, I think you as a dad now know there are things you have to do. Ain't no more fucking around, right? Ain't no more doing some certain stupid shit, right? If you got your baby in your car, you're probably not going to be weaving in and out of traffic. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that you're willing to put your baby's life in jeopardy for. You see what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, black people as a whole have to start doing that shit. But what has to happen even before that is we got to stop treating black people like victims, right? When your baby
black
falls,
people do have a victim mentality.
100%.
I will say that.
And the thing is like, with my daughter, I teach her like, yo, if you fall, get up. I'm not finna sit here and be like, oh my God, like, you need me to kiss your boo-boo? Oh my gosh, you feel better? Like, no.
Right.
I mean,
get your ass up.
Get your ass up. Like, wipe away the tears. Is anything broke? Are you cut? Are you damaged? Like, nah, you're good. Cool. Keep it lit. And there's so many people who don't do that. There's so many people who are like, oh my God, my baby. It's like, bro, all you're doing is coddling that child, and that coddle effect, there's a real world implication on that, because then it bleeds into adolescence and into adulthood, and then you have these soft ass people. That's why I told you to start this whole podcast, talk about anything. Fuck it. Pussy, bitch, faggot, I don't give a fuck. You feel me? I'm gonna say anything that I want. You feel me? If I need to bleep it out, I'll bleep it out.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I have the ability to speak because I'm an American, and I think that people forget that we're Americans. So the way that we can complain about being Americans, right, is not afforded everywhere. And until we start to wake up and realize that, yo, this is real life. This shit ain't fun and games no more. We're not living in mommy and daddy's house no more. You know what I mean? Right. Like, we're really out here having to like...
We're really out here
having to like really
make decisions.
You have another life in your hands.
You got to make decisions.
You have to make decisions. And that's the thing that bothers me too, is because it's like, we always like, there will be people who don't have kids that are like, the world needs to change and the world needs to fit these. It's like, yo, you're not even going to live here long enough to see like all the shit blossom like that, right? The only people that we should be preparing this world for is the next generation. We want to give them the best in order for them to then provide the best. And if we keep that mentality, you feel me, the human species will prosper. But you feel me, we just like, we don't look at it like that. We just look at it like, oh, this is my life, and somebody fucking cut me off on the way in, and they were white, and so they saw that I was black. We made eye contact, and they fucking flipped me off. Fucking Karen.
You said it's fucking bigger shit than... It's bigger shit to worry about.
It's bigger shit to worry about, for sure. Like...
I agree.
Excuse me. Like, I just think like...
Nigga got tears.
No. The water, I drank it. That shit splashed up and hit me in the face, so I wiped it off. No. This nigga tearing up. Hell no. No.
This is my life purpose to talk about. This is my life purpose to talk about this. I've been waiting to get on. I've been meaning to get this out.
This nigga started crying, man. This nigga pussy started crying. I'm about to have, man. If they make memes about this shit, they're gonna be like, this nigga a pussy. This nigga's a bitch. Crying on his first podcast.
God, dude. What the fuck? Views, though.
No. But, yeah, I think, like I said, there's bigger shit at play. And, it's up to us as individuals to do our best to contribute to that in a positive way in order for it to continue. Like, I don't think you want the world to just end when you die, right? I think you want the world to continue for your son. And so in order for that to happen, we have to make good decisions right now, today. We can't wait until 15 years later, 20 years later when he's an adult and then be like, oh yeah, okay, we want to change our minds. You feel me? It's like, that's why I say, like, I always am trying to get y'all to hop on board with like investing and like, you feel me? Just doing these things that are gonna, like, I've been telling you, like the whole thing with you and Herbalife. I love the fact that you're an entrepreneur and the fact that you're willing to go out there and bust your ass to build something from the ground up. Like, that is fucking dope. However, I think if you are doing that just to show that, hey, I can do it, cool, you've accomplished your goal. But if you want to make that something that's going to be, profitable, something that's going to give you a shit ton of money, Herbalife is not going to do that as quickly as something like real estate could do for you. You feel what I'm saying? And when you start to like really focus your investments, not just financially, but your time investment, that's another big thing is like, where are we putting our time to? Right. And for me, I want to put a lot of my time into being a dad. You feel me? Like, that we started off the podcast talking about that. And that's really my biggest focus right now is being a dad. Probably will be for the rest of my life. And the best way I think to do that starting off is like be able to provide my daughter with, kind of like a leg up on the competition. You know what I mean? But I know that I got to make those decisions now. You feel me? If I want to build a dope ass podcast or whatever, I got to be the one to take the initiative. Ain't nobody gonna do it for me. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of shit in there where we kind of like, we go with the flow and we hear things and we're like, oh, that's what it is. But it's like, it's not that. And I think racism is the biggest one of those. To bring it full circle is like, that's the biggest thing that kind of holds us down, because white people don't give a fuck. Right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that a white person gives a fuck if black people are not prosperous? No, they don't. Just like black people don't give a fuck if white people are prosperous. Why? I don't know. I think everybody should be prosperous. I think that we do our best work when we work together. You feel me? We don't do anything working by myself. I could have started this shit and put a camera on myself and just started talking to the camera, but that wouldn't have been as entertaining as having another person here with me to kind of have a conversation. So we work better together, but we need to figure out a way to just work together. Because a lot of times we're like, man, white people this, like, oh, that. And then, like I was telling you yesterday, like with the MAGA hat, as soon as you see a person wearing a MAGA hat, you're like, oh, no, like, I'm not with that person. Not about to interact with that person no matter what. Doesn't matter. And the thing is like, you could agree with that person on 99.9% of topics. And the one thing that you disagree about is the fact that that person is wearing that hat. You feel me? If that person wasn't wearing that hat, you two would be identical twins. You know what I mean? And it's like, we won't even find those people because we're not willing to engage with any and everyone. And that's what I want to do is like, I want to engage with any and everyone. And because I engage with any and everyone, I can see behind the curtain on this other side. You feel me? Like, I'm starting to see behind the curtain where it's like, yo, everything we see, we were talking about LeBron with the whole shut up and dribble thing. And then they made it into this big thing about like, oh, like LeBron is a athlete and he's more than an athlete and he should be able to speak his mind. Yeah, I agree. He should be able to speak his mind 100%. However, when you speak your mind and you're talking to millions and millions of people, I think it would be common courtesy to at least provide them with factual information, factual evidence, right. Not just how you feel, because how you feel, it does nothing for the rest of the people in the world. But when you go out and you say, oh man, this shit's fucked up, they keep killing black people, it's like, yo, how many white people a year die at the hands of police? More than the amount of black people. And then people talk about, oh, but it's the rate. It's the percentage of black people that are the population, and then the fucking, the percentage of black people that are dying gives you the rate. I understand that. But what's the rate of black people that are committing crimes compared to other races of people? It's way higher. So because of that, obviously you're going to have more interactions with the cops, hence more opportunities for negative outcome.
I think that people, you can say, why are black people committing more crimes? Well, they're in certain neighborhoods. Well, what's in those neighborhoods versus other neighborhoods? Opportunities as a community. You know what I'm saying? Like corner stores on every corner versus markets on every corner.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or whatever the case is. Bandos in this neighborhood.
But why do you think that is? Why do you think that there are less of these like businesses that are prosperous and there are more of these like just small like maybe mom and pop, like you're saying, like liquor store, smoke shop type of things? Why do you think that is?
Just based upon where certain people obviously live, communities live, and then where people want to put money into, like better schools in different areas. And why is it like that? I'm not sure.
So let me ask it in a different way. Why do you think that somebody would want to open up a liquor store in those neighborhoods?
Because that might work for those demographics of people.
Because there's a market there.
True.
There's there's demand.
True.
So if I'm an entrepreneur, right, I'm going to supply what people are demanding. And I know that in this area, this demographic, people are demanding certain things. One of those certain things happens to be liquor. What is that demand though? What is the market's demand made up of? Individual decisions, right? So those are a bunch of individual people that are saying, I want to drink liquor. I want to drink liquor. I want to drink liquor. It's not the fact that liquor store is placed there. Cause I'll provide you with an example. Let's say we put a nail shop on every single corner. Do you think that's going to encourage more people to start going and getting their nails done? No, absolutely not. It's what you're interested in. It's what decisions you as an individual want to make. You as an individual see access to liquor. You like getting fucked up off liquor. You're going to go buy some liquor. That's what you want to spend your money on. That's your individual decision. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is when you choose to do that and then you say someone else forced you to do that. It's like no one forced you to do that. Right. You chose to do that.
You want to go get drunk.
You want to go get drunk. You want to sell loose cigarettes in front of a liquor store knowing that that's illegal. You want to do that. You want to run away from the police knowing that that's illegal, right? So I'm not saying that it was okay that the cop killed the people in those situations. I'm just saying those people knew in those situations what they were doing was not okay, They could have made a different choice, different decision, and there could have been a different outcome, right? And I think the sooner we get to that conclusion, the problem is like white people can't say that, right? White people can't say that to black people because guess what? When they say that, what do black people say? That's racist. Oh fuck yeah, you can say that, white boy. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Yeah. It's easy for you to say you got generational wealth. It's like, bruh, they're giving you advice. Take the advice. Like that's the thing. That's the thing with black people. It's like you think that everybody's against you, but it's not like that. People really want to help you. But as soon as they want to help you, as soon as they want to like put their hair in a certain way, cultural appropriation. What the fuck? You want to steal everything that's ours? No, motherfucker. They like what you're doing. They love it so much that they want to emulate it. I love Kobe so much, I want to shoot just like that nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Is that basketball appropriation? Is that game appropriation? You feel what I'm saying? No, fuck no. Because Kobe did that with who? He talks about it all the time. Pistol Pete Maravich. He took moves from that nigga. He took moves from fucking all the greats. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just Elgin Baylor. We look at things in that victim mentality, and when you continue to look through the victim mentality lenses, you'll always find a reason to play the victim. And I just think it's not doing us any, as black people, like speaking to my people, it's not doing us any favors to just continue with that. So that's why I want to bring, you feel me? That's why I want to do this. I want to have a conversation with one-on-one, because you and I have seen it when I got 15 people around that are all eager to say something, and I'm just trying to speak my piece to kind of get my point out there. Everybody's like, nah, bro, that's why this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, now my voice is drowned out. Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to try to have more of these types of conversations, build it around this, where it's like one-on-one, we can like, I don't know. Do you think I made any fair points in that whole shit, or you think all that shit was off base?
No, I think that there definitely are some fair points for sure.
At least I'm glad we got there, because that's a step in the right direction. Because a couple months ago, I forgot where we were at. We were at Merritt, right? We were at Lake Merritt, and it was me, you, BP, Key. We were tossing football around, hella shit, right? And we started talking about some shit. And as soon as I had like brought something up, I think it was like I brought up like how there was like, like something about like the wage gap differential or something between men and women or something like that. I brought some shit up like that, and then that turned into a conversation about fucking like black people being oppressed and like hella shit. And everybody's looking at me like, fucking coon. Like, I don't know old boy's name, but was like,
Sammy.
Yeah, like, that's some coon ass shit. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, why I got to be all that? That's the first time I ever been called that in my life. Even though, I mean, obviously niggas have always been like, oh, Willie, you're white, blah, blah, blah. Nigga, if anybody's white, who's the whitest black person we know? Me?
Who's that?
Who's the whitest black person we know? You think it's me?
Who's the whitest black person we know?
Who do you think it is? You think it's me?
The whitest black person?
Like if we would say like
Dom.
I didn't say it. You said it, but I'm just saying. So nigga, what is white? Because nigga, growing up, that's what Dom was. Dom was always the smart one, the one who rebutted to everything that we were saying. He was like, he always had kind of like a logical kind of like thought process, whereas we were just always just shooting from the hip.
Down.
You feel me?
We're down. Fuck it.
Nigga, fuck it. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I think it's. I honestly think. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's a whole shit. And like I said, I want to have these conversations because I think I can get through to people. I think I can get people to see what I'm talking about. You feel what I'm saying? And it's not that I necessarily want to convince people, but it's just like, let's have our conversation. And at the end of it, let's see where we both stand.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I don't think I'm a coon. I don't think I'm whitewashed or nothing. I don't think I'm none of that shit. I think I'm still down with the cause. You feel me? But I'm also kind of looking at the world a little differently because I have to. You feel me? I'm a dad now. You feel me? All this shit. About to have my second. All the shit. So 2 daughters.
Girl, I'm about to say girl.
2 daughters. That's the coldest part about it. To anybody out there that got multiple daughters, please holla at me. Let me know what to expect. That shit.
Girl dad.
Girl dad. Kobe. This is my Gigi. I got CC. Maybe I might name her Gianna as a tribute. You think that'd be OD? That'd be over the top?
I think that might be a little OD.
Little OD. What would you name? But I mean, look, if LeBron died,
I wouldn't name my son LeBron. I wouldn't name.
I'm not saying I would name my son. Here's the thing, though. But I would name my son Kobe, though.
I wouldn't name.
I would for sure name my son Kobe. If I had a son, I would name him Kobe. I wouldn't spell it Kobe, but I would name him Kobe. I figure out a better way to spell it.
Whatever.
You wouldn't do that?
I wouldn't.
What do you? Well, you. I mean, you named your son after Nas.
Give her a victory.
After who though? After the rapper, right?
No.
Who's Nasir?
Not Nas, the rapper is Nasir.
I know.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's not who you named it after?
No. No.
I thought you always did that. I thought you always had named him Nasir, but just spelled it different.
I did spell it different, but not after the rapper.
After who?
Nobody.
You just came up with it.
Yes.
Well, you didn't just come up with it, but you thought about it,
yes,
and you were
yes,
like, I want to name him Nasir.
Yes, facts.
But I don't want to spell it Nasir like Nas because then everybody's going to associate it with Nas.
Not necessarily.
But then we call him Nas, so then of course they're going to associate it with Nas.
I'm anticipating this conversation to always be.
You should take a picture of him right now where it's like Nas's first album cover. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where he's like a little kid.
Yeah.
Just take a picture of him just looking like that because you know that nigga be looking like that.
Right.
Yo, little Nas be looking like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Straight on, exactly.
He be giving that.
But now if I had a second word, I actually plan on having a second son. I plan on having all boys. That's the plan. But
we can plan for a lot of shit, bro. You can't plan for that.
But fucking my second son was named after me though.
Oh, the real chosen one. Yo, Nas is gonna hear this in like 10 years and be like, fuck you.
What do you mean? What the fuck?
He's gonna look at you and be like, fuck you, Dad. Why did you name me after you?
You're hella silly. I always plan on it. I actually already have this planned out. Mm-hmm. That
so you had to come up with Nas off the dome. You was just like fucking in the moment.
Actually, yes. Because I was gonna actually. So my original plan was to have 3 boys. Mm-hmm. Still the plan. So 2 more.
We'll see how that works.
But fucking, I was gonna name Gerry,
mm-hmm.
Wayne.
After who?
After Lil Wayne the GOAT, for sure. Okay,
so that's
what I'm saying, but not LeBron though. I'm saying not LeBron. Okay,
because LeBron is not the GOAT.
No, not
because LeBron is not the GOAT. You're hearing it first.
No,
you're hearing it here first. LeBron is not the GOAT.
LeBron's just not an attractive name.
I'm just saying whether it's an attractive. That's the thing. It's like you're doing it paying tribute.
I wouldn't name
to someone. This is okay. I'll say it for me. I would do it to pay tribute as a means of saying like, yo, you were so inspirational when I was a certain age. You kind of formed my like competitive fire. That's all from Kobe. You feel what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have that in me if it wasn't for him.
So you'll accept that.
So it's like, yo, gotta pay tribute.
Well, I got the stars
tattoo.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a tribute. You're right. You do got a little tribute. Chris got the Kobe tat.
Right.
Got the Kobe tat. So I guess people pay tributes in different ways. You're right. That's the thing. I wouldn't get you feel me? No tats. No tats. All facts. Should be my new nick. No tats. All facts. Sweet Dick Willie. More ways than one. Look, man, we've been going for like an hour and 20 minutes. That's pretty crazy. This shit was dope. I'm fucking hella glad that we did this shit. This is the first of fucking many. Brother, thank you so much. Love.
It's a movie.
For all of y'all checking this out, I appreciate you if you lasted this long.
If you watched it this long, you a real nigga.
Yo, you real. And if you got this far, look, drop a like, Drop a comment. Let us know what you thought, what you think we could talk about next time.
Follow me on Instagram.
Right. Follow this nigga on Instagram.
Coach Cooper _ Coach Cooper _ if you're trying to get in shape, if you're trying to see some inspirational shit, if you're trying to see some lifestyle shit, if you're trying to see my son all on Instagram.
You trying to have that summer bod in the winter.
Right.
If you trying to be looking good year round.
Follow me on Instagram. But if you just want to, just be some cool shit on my IG.
What's your Twitter?
Fucking, okay. So before I even drop this, let me just go ahead and say I'm a different person on Twitter.
That man said I live a double life.
I'm a different person on Twitter than I am on Instagram. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's G_as_fuck.
There you go. G_as_fuck and Coach Cooper on IG. Look, love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to catch y'all on the next one.
Let's fucking get it.
Adios.